every individual, every person that I've met in an accounting firm, they are absolutely obsessed with customers and doing what's right. And it's by nature. It's not something that they feel like they have to say. They're just obsessed with customers.
Welcome to On the Books. I'm Ted Callahan.
And I'm Jessica McCracken.
And Jess, and On the Books first, we're actually in the same room as we record today.
We are, and we're not the only ones in here. Joining us today is Sasan Goodarzi, the CEO of Intuit. Sasan, welcome to On the Books.
Great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for making time. I know our listeners are just really excited to hear what you've got to say. And to start off, we just wanted to ask you a couple of questions for our listeners to get to know you a bit.
Sure, yeah.
And so you've been CEO at Intuit for 8 years now.
Seven. Yes.
But
thank you for giving me a chance to do this another year.
Yeah, that'll be $20. And so I'm just curious, if you weren't CEO, what would your dream job be?
Yeah, this has been literally my dream since I was a little kid.
Really?
I would, and I still will do this. It's just a matter of when. I'd love to have an Italian restaurant in Miami, close to the water.
Yeah.
And enjoy the food, and I may even have a ponytail and maybe a few tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you
Excellent.
be in the kitchen, or would you be DJing on the outside patio area?
Oh, you know what? I didn't think about DJing. I would rock that place. Yes.
So Italian restaurant by day, and then at night.
No, and day and night, and then
Ponytail DJ
It's
Sasan
Miami.
comes
It's
on.
the land of
Miami.
day parties.
I would relax. I would work out. I would show up in the restaurant. I would DJ. I didn't think about that because I love DJing. Thank you for that. Did you know I like DJing?
You made a joke about DJing at your daughter's graduation, I think.
I love DJing. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what I will do. Yes.
What would your DJ name be at your Italian restaurant?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to that one.
DJ pop, because I make things pop. Well, anytime I DJ, I don't know.
I like it.
I just made that up. Please let's not trademark that just yet.
I'm
You're
gonna
going to walk in, somebody's popping champagne bottles on the side, every entrance. I like it. We might see it at Connect next year.
Ooh, I can DJ at Connect. Except here's my problem. My daughter reminded me of this. I listen to the beat. I don't listen to the lyrics. And so I learned from my daughter, this is 10 years ago. I was listening to this song. She was like, Dad, why are you listening to this? I was like, I love the beat. She goes, do you know what it's saying? And I started listening to it, and I was like, oh my God. So I don't actually play my music in front of people that I don't know because I don't listen to the lyrics, and I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't do it at Intuit Connect.
Well,
Okay.
Or you know what you can do? This would be a good use of AI. You can have AI pre-screen your playlist and only hear your edited songs for the Connect.
All right.
And we can have a DJ off because we've got a number of former DJs in our ranks.
I'm willing to. I just don't know if the songs that I have will play to our amazing crowd at Intuit Connect, but hey, I'll give it a try.
I think we'll just put it to people's vote.
And then if I get booed off stage, then it is what it is.
Then you didn't win. Yeah,
that's
then there's
true.
another person.
Sasan, you travel a lot. And when you go around, you go to talk to employees, you talk to small and mid-market businesses, but you also talk to accountants. What are some things you've learned from accounting firms this year during your travels?
I'd say probably three big things. One is things come down to individuals, right? But every individual, every person that I've met in an accounting firm, they are absolutely obsessed with customers. And doing what's right, and it's by nature. It's not something that they feel like they have to say. They're just obsessed with customers. So I would say that's the first thing. The second thing, which has been a real pleasant surprise for me, is I'd say for the most part, at least those that I have met, accountants are embracing the future because change is hard, right? We're all humans. We don't like change, But I actually see accountants embracing what's possible with technology, how they need to change, how it can be fruitful for their practice, fruitful for customers. The third thing is accountants never forget.
True.
That is true. Yes. That is very true.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Which is always a reminder for me. We need to always do our best to do right all the time.
Yeah.
Because You all have amazing memories.
Yes.
Yes.
I completely agree. So you started with the shared customer, and that's such a unique facet of our relationship with our community is that we have a shared mission to go serve our customers, right? And if you think about some of the leadership lessons that you've been really developing that you've learned it into it. We talk a lot about customer obsession. You used it even just as you were describing their passion. I'd love for you to unpack what has really been the hallmark of your leadership philosophy around customer obsession.
Yeah, maybe I'll just talk about what I do and how I spend my time, which you would hope, right, is at least the good stuff of what I do is, copied by others. And hence it's just the way I define customer obsession. And it's a series of things. It's not one or two things. One is I'm probably 30% of the time on the road. Like is tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow I leave. Tomorrow I'm in reviews all day, experience reviews, and then I leave to go to New York, and I'm visiting a couple of customers in New York, just as an example. So one is just being obsessed with learning and curious about what a business, an accountant is trying to do, what their goals are. So customer meetings and always being curious. Two is always in our products, other people's products, just in general. I'm in our KPIs, right? Because KPIs, speak the truth. And I'm always reading just our VOC channel insights, and I respond to nobody checks my email. It's interesting because when you become CEO, people think everybody's doing all your stuff for you. In my case, I check every email, and I respond to every customer escalation. And the process that we have is I want to know what we learned and what we're going to change. Yep. And I think those are sort of the things that I do, which is all about the customer. And the thing I've learned is, when I screw up, just admitting it and figuring out the right path forward. And I just think that's customer obsession. Is last thing actually I would say is I do chats with our sales folks, frontline sales folks, and frontline customer success and frontline engineers, because I've learned over time you always get the real deal from them, and all of that is in sort of service of better serving our customers. So that's what customer obsession means to me.
I love that. And if you think about just how a lot of what we talk about is savoring the surprise, what would be an example, if you think about in your career, something you got wrong, where then you were able to savor that surprise and then make a change, specifically around your leadership philosophy?
Yeah, well, there's so many things, ahas and things I got wrong. And this may or may not be what you're looking for, but in fact, the most recent one that comes to mind is you all invited me to the Accountant Council. And I don't know if you all remember the topic, but it's an example of what you're asking about. So the topic was, we were focused on building business intelligence stuff. And the goal was to come and show it to the Accountant Council and get their insight. And I wanted to join because I wanted to see and learn what the feedback was. And what I learned very quickly in that meeting was we were very focused on showing what we had built, and what everybody around the table was saying was, and in fact, I counted it, I may get the numbers wrong now, but it was like 9 out of 10 were using our platform, exporting data, putting it in ChatGPT, combining it with what they had in Excel, looking back at our platform and trying to figure out what the insights were. But the majority of them were using an AI tool to put it all together, and felt that it was unsafe, it wasn't reliable, it wasn't accurate, but at least it was eliminating work and drudgery. And, I remember, 30 minutes in that meeting, I said, team, let's listen to what they're doing versus what we're here to pitch them. In terms of a product that we had built, Alex Balaz and I walked out of that meeting and changed the direction of the whole team. And in essence, it was, why don't we build what we're now calling Intuit Intelligence in the platform, right? Let our partners ask any question they want in our platform. They can upload their data that's not in our platform. They can ask whatever questions that they want. So that's an example of just the leadership principle of you got to be obsessed with what the customer wants to do, not not be in love with what we've declared.
Totally.
Now that's a small, in the realm of things, that could have been a huge mistake. We go out and build something and accountants are like, what is this? But it's a great example for me of what I learned. And I wonder, like, if we weren't in the room listening, would our teams just go down this path of building something versus, oh my God, what they're saying is totally different than what I'm doing. So let me listen to the customer. So that's just, it's a micro example, but there's so many of them that sort of shape all the learnings that I've had over the years that always lead to listen to the customer.
Yeah, I love that. So one quick follow-up, and I know Jess has a build on this, but if you think about, you have always been somebody who's impressed me, who is so clear on the strategy. And we've got to go execute the strategy. But here the team was executing the strategy, but there was some kind of instinct in you that said, no, this isn't actually the right approach. We need to actually change and pivot based on the feedback we just got.
Yeah.
Like, how did you know to trust your instinct in that instance? Because I think this is great for our listeners.
Yeah,
because they're faced with the same challenge every day.
Of course. I mean, I think the word strategy means a lot to a lot of different folks, right? From my perspective, there's sort of one company strategy, which is the big vision of what we're trying to do for customers, which is we want to get to a place where everything is done for you with data, AI, and human intelligence, which is core to how we get things done. Everything else is a pivot. Everything else is a learning. And so in this case, yes, you're right. There was a business intelligence strategy, but what's the outcome of that strategy? It's to actually provide intelligence for our customers. And when we went into this meeting, if we just listened to the customer, the accountants in this case, they were telling us how I want to get intelligence and how they were doing it today. And I think the lesson there is about you have to listen to what is the customer doing. And then customers won't always tell you what to create. But if you listen to the customer, then you can go figure out what to create. And I think that always goes back to the principle of being in love with the problem the customer is trying to solve, not our solution. And to me, that's not a strategy thing. It's a curiosity thing. We still have to do business intelligence. That's the strategy. But how we do it in this case was shaped by listening to our partners.
Yep. Awesome.
When we talk about strategy, especially with our accountant partners, we talk about, hey, the way they think we're going to solve it and the way we end up solving it's not always the same because our aperture is a little bit larger with how many customers we have on our platform. We just touched on business intelligence. Intuit Intelligence is something that we talked about at Intuit Connect, at Intuit Connect On for those who joined us. For people who haven't heard about it, can you give us like a sentence or two about what is Intuit Intelligence and then why are we building it?
So I am super excited about the possibilities of Intuit Intelligence when we get it right. And it's very hard to get it right. It will take time. But Intuit Intelligence, in essence, it's our platform, but it's a platform that is actually your thought partner. And that you can ask it questions. Who are my most profitable customers? What are services I can sell to them? Show me the last year of top expenses. How does that compare to others? I mean, these is just illustrative. But Intuit Intelligence is about AI becoming the new UI and HI, human intelligence, becoming the X factor. And the X factor is the experts and accountants that serve our customers. But the Intuit Intelligence is all about now you can have a debate and a conversation with the platform. Why is that important? The platform has all the data. It now has the capability for you to upload the data. So if we don't have the data and there's POS data that you have as an example, you can upload it, Excel spreadsheet data, upload it, and ask it any question that you want. And it's safe, it's secure, it's all in one place. But most importantly, as a partner in a firm, you can ask it questions. If you're a tax analyst, you can ask it questions. And the goal is not perfection. The goal is it creates value by eliminating 90% of what you would have to go find and dig up and do manually so that it truly becomes the assistant by your side. And it's revolutionary and it's hard. It's hard to do. And the intent, and I'll end with this, is that it connects. Technology will always only be able to do so much. And we'll say that in 10 years. It's always going to keep getting more advanced, but it's always going to have, there's an element of humans want to interact with humans at some element. And so part of the way we're building it is that you can in fact hand it off to a human. It's intelligent enough to just say, hey, let me connect you to a human to answer this question. But it's about being able to answer any question that you have and then go do it for you.
I have one more question on the tech side of that, and I think we've got a great dive into the human intelligence side. If we think about the makeup of, I'm going to focus this on the United States for now, there's a good portion of our population who gets paid via QuickBooks Payroll. They file their taxes via TurboTax. They might run a business. They might also have a side hustle. Maybe they're doing a microeconomy. When you talk about Intuit Intelligence, is it something that's going to work across all of our offerings, our consumer, small business, accountant? Or are we taking more of a, like, there'll be a business offering, which will be separate from tax?
Great question. The goal is it's customer back, which means it works across the entire platform. The way we're starting is by area, because we're building the pipes behind the scenes. And the pipes, to be very simplistic, is for Intuit Intelligence to work, first the data has to be there. So the data has to be connected in the right, safe way so that you as the customer, if you're asking questions, we have the TurboTax data, the business platform data, QuickBooks data, MailChimp data, all in one place. So one is that. And then two, it's building out all of the AI agents that know what to go look for. So rather than waiting for opening the curtains 5 years from now, we're doing it by area right now, while we build the capabilities behind the scenes. Because once the data is available and we've built the infrastructure of the AI agents being able to do the work, then it can go get the data as long as it's available. So eventually it will be, no matter who you are, what you use, you can ask it questions and it will be sort of agnostic across our entire platform. But right now we're starting by area.
I love it. We've seen with like people living longer, investments changing. We have Credit Karma in that space. So I'm very excited for a day where it's like my side hustle, my main hustle, all of that gives me one
100%.
profile so I can like really do some long-term planning.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I love the way you talk about we have a system of intelligence, and it's our artificial intelligence plus the human intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think for everybody that wasn't at Intuit Connect, they didn't get to hear that you'd reframed our definition of expert is not only our first-party experts, right? Live experts, our agents, et cetera, but also accountants.
Yes.
And so I'd love for you to unpack the why. You touched on a bit of humans want to talk to humans, but I feel like it's so fundamental. I want to make sure our listeners really get to hear you unpack that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, I think this will sound, what I'm about to say will sound obvious, but sometimes stating the obvious is really, really important.
Yeah.
And this is a debate, by the way, I have with investors all the time, right? Because investors, they're trying to figure out where they put their money and they think that AI is going to eat everything. And I do not believe that's the case in the industry that we are in. And it's customer back, right? Customers need to have confidence in their decisions. If you're a business, no matter how good the technology is, you have to have confidence that am I doing this right? Am I making the right investments? Am I managing my cash flow the right way? Am I being the best that I can be? Well, although I see that I can get access to $2 million in capital, is this the right decision right now? Whatever those taxes, right? Am I doing the right thing with my quarterly taxes? I don't want to, how the hell did I get this huge tax bill at the end of the year? So I can go on and on, but with all of which, I know is not only familiar, but obvious what I'm saying. But it's important to state that we live in a world of confidence, customer back. Consumers need confidence in these decisions. Businesses of all sizes need confidence, and even accountants, right? Am I making confident decisions for my end clients? So we're all human.
Yep.
And so because confidence in our domain, because what do? We manage money, taxes, accounting, audit, books, right? That's what we do collectively. And AI will eliminate almost all the drudgery manual work over time. It's not there yet, but it will. No question about it. But it will not, and it will change the work of humans as of today. But it will, in my view, not change the importance of a human interaction because of the industry that we're in and what we do. I think it will make the interaction far more valuable. I think it will make the interaction far more confidence inspiring because you're not interacting on drudgery and manual stuff. You're actually doing things that builds confidence in the other person. So that's why, from what we even declared 7 years ago, we said everything is about data, AI, and HI. We're just being far more intentional, per your question, about the human intelligence piece. And human intelligence is a big part of it is our accounting partners. A big part could be we're actually providing, because there are some firms that I talk to and they ask for, can you actually provide us capacity for human intelligence? So at the end of the day, it's really about humans. And so when we talk about HI, it's our accounting partners and it's where we need to come in with our experts. But what is undisputed is it's got to be a digital platform technology with human intelligence integrated. That's the future. That's the future we're creating. And we have to co-create it together.
Love that.
What do you think is the role of accountants in our human intelligence strategy or vision?
Well, I think it's essential. And it really comes down to, let me make it, rather than making a philosophical comment, right? If I were to portray different types of discussions that I have with different firms, there are firms that I have met with because of the scale that they are. There are two things that they'll say. One is, for instance, I don't want to do any tax return less than $6,000. Two, there are periods of the year where I ramp my experts, and today they're in India. Given your capabilities, I don't want to be in India. Can you be my capacity arm? And by the way, can I flow these customers that pay less than $6,000 to you? They're my customer, but you do the work behind the scenes. So that's like one type of conversation that I have. With the larger firms, and it's not just larger firms. It depends on their business model. There's a separate set of conversations, which is, hey, based on the type of work that I want to do, let's just be clear where your experts come in and where you're actually funneling business my way. Which, by the way, is a great engagement approach to have, because there are certain things that we want the business to do with our accounting partners. So that's sort of in the middle. And then I would say there are firms that are smaller, defined by they may serve 20, 30 customers. They only do taxes. They're fine with $400, $500 taxes. And the conversation I have with them is, join us on our platform, because you will get disrupted. And you'll make, and by the way, as you all know, we have almost 20,000 experts on our platform. And there are the very firms that are listening to this podcast. And those are folks where I do believe that will get disrupted over time. It doesn't mean what they do is not valuable. It's extremely valuable. Why? Because it's human intelligence. But how do we truly co-create together so that we can help your business thrive and help you grow? So it's a long answer to your question, but I just think it depends on the firm's goal, the firm's model. The thing that's undisputed that doesn't change is what I started with earlier. Human intelligence is about what we do together. We're not giving birth to experts on the side.
That's a
shocking fact, but I just needed to say it.
That growth plan would take too long.
Yeah, way too long. So anytime we talk about experts, it's our accounting partners. It just depends on what the goal of the firm is and what they're trying to do, and we co-create together whatever that goal is.
Yeah.
I love that. And I don't remember the stats offhand, so correct me if you do, but when we look at our expert makeup, I think it's like 75% of them are women. We have schedule flexibility.
Correct.
Something like 85% are not near a major U.S. city. So when we look at like where we open offices, the companies we partner with for things like support, we focus on areas where we can have a real economic impact.
Yes.
And I think that's what we've done really well with some of our experts is bringing jobs and stimulus to these people who may not be near a large accounting firm, may not
100%.
have a path otherwise, and they got started with us.
And I have to amplify what you said. So this is not net new. We don't share the specifics because we've never shared it publicly, but we create hundreds of millions of dollars of income that then are spent locally in those areas that you mentioned. So they actually create economic prosperity. And for the most part, all the folks that are on our platform are actually making more money and doing what they love. And so that's really the ultimate goal that we have.
Yeah. When you laid out the different segments of the accounting community and kind of your view of how it's going to evolve in the future, and you talked about how powerful it will be that we're going to be co-creating that future together, I feel like one of the best demonstrations of our committed intent to continue to back and even hero our accounting community is the launch of our Intuit Accountant Suite, which is, I think, the biggest release our community has seen from us in over a decade.
Yeah.
And so I'd love for you to unpack the why behind that and why you made that choice to commit to investing in that space.
So, first of all, a lot of the credit goes to amazing folks like yourselves that advocate for what our partners need. So while I appreciate you making it sound like this was my idea, it's important to say you all are the ones that drove what we're doing. I'm simply amplifying it and putting resources behind it. Because the dot that you all connected for me is we really need to provide the opportunity for our accounting partners to be able to manage their practice, their clients, and their workforce. Yes. And we're just, you all know this, but we are just getting started with the Intuit Accountant Suite. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a lot of good stuff that's coming. This was just the beginning of it. And the thing that I learned by also meeting firms is anytime somehow we got on the discussion of how we manage thousands of experts on our platform, serving millions of customers to do their taxes, and I would talk about, we have all the capability to do schedule, appointment setting. We have algorithms that do routing. We manage the performance of the experts. We have all the capabilities to auto import. They would look at me like, and why do I not have that? and so really the Intuit Accountant Suite ultimately will be the fuel that powers the prosperity of accountants, that ultimately then together we can do amazing things for the end client. And we ultimately want to make it almost like a data platform. So if there are other things that you have, like an audit module that you want to connect, you can connect it to the Intuit Accountant Suite with APIs so that everything is in one place. And ultimately the Accountant Suite becomes the place where you can look at everything in your firm, even if like the audit module is not something that we have, as an example. So I am super excited. And again, thanks to the two of you and the many that you all work with and lead, we have a lot of energy around this in the company. And I think it's just getting started. Like tomorrow, one of my reviews, one element of the review is that I do monthly is the Intuit Accountant Suite. It's just, so it's revolutionary, and thanks to the two of you and all of you for pushing us on it.
Yeah. What about our not accountant direct products? We've recently, can we still say recently, stepped into the mid-market space?
Yeah.
What can a mid-market customer expect to see from us in the next 12 months? Or will that be a continued area of focus for us?
Well, first of all, as you know, right, it's one of our 3 bets as a company. That was a setup question.
They call it softball.
Yes, softball indeed. So we will absolutely, without a doubt, become the authority of being an AI native ERP platform to win in mid-market. We're already doing it today, but we're just getting started. It's like we're just scratching the surface. And what I'm excited about is right now, every customer that I talk to, we're winning on drop dead easy experience, price, and the total cost of ownership, because you can do everything in one place. And the Forrester study that was done shows that those that are using the suite have a 300% ROI. Which is remarkable. They're growing their top line, they're being more efficient, and then they're paying less. They're paying us more, but they're paying less with all these different apps that they're using. That's also where Intuit Accountant Suite becomes so important, which is the combination of this AI native ERP platform serving the business, and the accountant having the opportunity with this suite to be able to manage all their different practices, large or small, however big or small they may be, I think is game changing. So, as you all know, these are areas where we're pouring billions of dollars because the opportunity is massive. And I couldn't be more excited about what's possible.
I think that ease of use is something I don't want us to lose sight of either. Ted and I were at Digital CPA. It's a conference that was in DC this year. And we were talking to an accounting firm leader that we work with closely. And one of the things that he reminded us of is there's so much talent out there who knows QuickBooks. The other ERPs, they're a lot harder to use. It's a bigger learning curve. And so finding that talent is harder and a whole lot more expensive. So when we can keep them on the platform they know, it also makes the talent game, which is very hard, a little bit easier if you're doing it with us.
Yeah, 100%. And to build on your point, we're actually very focused on Intuit Enterprise Suite. In some ways, the way we're building it is almost easier to use than QuickBooks. And the more we get to done-for-you experiences, the more we can take the complexity out of the platform.
Yep.
Evolution is hard. Sometimes
Yes.
clean slate's easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Sasan, I'm just looking at the clock, and the time with you is always so fun, goes very quickly. I'd just like to give you kind of the opportunity to have the mic. What would you like to say to the community as we close?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you again for inviting me. It's amazing to have the opportunity to connect with all of you. I think the most important thing that I would say is we are in a very fast moving world, and we are being so intentional about co-creating this future with you. And I think that the takeaway you should have is we are pouring billions of dollars into a space so that together we can serve consumers, businesses of all sizes, and have a platform, the Accountant Suite, that powers your practice, your business, your firm. And I'm sure we'll make mistakes, but we are so intentional about how we co-create together that I am confident that how we respond in situations where we need to improve and what we're trying to do to really move with high velocity to create to this future. I mean, our teams are innovating at a rate that I've never seen, and I think anything is now possible. So co-create is the thing that I would just leave you with, and we have a common goal, we have a common cause, and you're an amazing partner because you help us get better. You never forget, so you give us feedback, and I think that's a good thing. Because you only get better when you learn, and I can't wait to do amazing things with all of you. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks all of you for joining us today. For show notes with more information on today's episode, head on over to firmofthefuture.com. It's my favorite website. If you're listening via podcast, well, today we've got video where you can see our smiling faces of this episode. Head on over to the Intuit Connect On website, where you're going to be able to find replays of our past events and webinars. While you're there, you can register for our next quarterly event, which is going to be February 24th, where we're sharing our latest innovations from Intuit.
And be sure to follow Intuit Accountants on all your favorite social media channels. I'm partial to Instagram, but whichever one you're into.
It's all good.
We'll be back in your podcast feed later this month.
Talk with you all soon.
Bye, everyone.